Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel, and if you can't tell, I make videos about books. Today, it's about popular books that I don't think I will ever read. Now, this may change, obviously. I am nothing if not a hypocrite, and you know, a few months down the line, I might make a TBR with one of these in it. Who knows? But as of now, I have no interest in reading them, and I forecast that won't change. So I found these popular books by just literally looking at popular books on TikTok and came up with a bunch of different people talking about popular books, and then also just from my knowledge of what people talk about on Book Talk and BookTube and all those places, I feel like these are very popular books that I will not be reading. I have about 10 of them, and we're just gonna jump on into it. So first, I have a few series that I don't think I will read. And I'm not a big series person. Like, it takes a lot for me to read a series. If I'm reading a series, it's usually like standalone books that kind of are a series. Like, you know, a lot of those romance books, like The Kiss Quotient has The Bride Test and The Heart Principle, and you could read them as standalone, but they have like similar characters, you know? Those are the kind of series that I read, because I don't know, I'm really bad at committing to one series. I always want to like switch up the genre of book after I finish a book. So I'm not big into series, which makes these series even more of a push for me not to read them, because if I can't commit to a standalone popular book, I certainly cannot commit to a popular series that I don't think I'm gonna like. First, we have the Shatter Me series. This, I know I don't want to read for several reasons. One, I don't like the covers. I'm a big cover buy person, and literally a pretty cover will motivate me to read a book. That's so messed up, but we all do it. Okay, don't lie. I don't like these covers. The eye is freaking me out. The only one I like is the little pink novella, because I'm just a sucker for pink, light pink things, or just like pastels. Love. But the eye, it's freaking me out, and so I don't want to read it because of that. Also, I've like looked into the series. There's one point when like a lot of people were talking about it, and I was like, maybe I should read it. And I looked into it more and looked at some reviews that had quotes from the book, and the writing sounds very like overly lyrical and kind of cringy, and that's the type of writing that I hate. I don't like poetic writing, I guess, and especially when it like tries to be poetic. Like, I'm fine with some like actual good literary fiction, but if you're like a dystopian thriller and you're trying to be poetic and literary, no. And that's the vibe I got from this. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what a couple of reviews said. Also, it's young adult, and I don't have a problem against young adult fiction. Like, I'm reading the Inheritance Games right now, and it's going great. But it's not my preferred genre. I would much rather read like adult fiction, is that what it is? Just like general fiction over young adult fiction. So those are my reasons for that. Next series is Throne of Glass series. This is by Sarah J. Maas, who wrote ACOTAR. Yeah, so I read ACOTAR and I actually really liked it, and now I'm on the second book, but I'm not a huge fantasy person, so I don't see myself committing to another long fantasy series. I also haven't heard the best of things about this, So yeah, I don't think I'll be committing to that. Also, I mean, you'll kind of see a trend in this, but the covers are ugly. No motivating factor there. And then the last series that I don't see myself reading is the Addicted series. This, I don't really have a strong reason why I don't think I'm gonna read it, other than it is long. There's like 2 spin-off series, I think, with it. So I don't want to start it and then like it enough but not love it, because I am the type of person who, if it's like literally just a 3-star book, I will still probably continue the series, just being like, well, maybe the 3rd in the series is gonna be a 5-star book, and I won't stop. Also, I don't know, people that my tastes kind of align with have said that they didn't like the Addicted series. So I'm like, I should listen to them. So we'll see, but I really don't think I'm gonna read that. Now we are on to just the standalone books that I don't think I'll read. So first, this one is like this was on the line. Like I hesitated adding this because I could see myself picking it up down the line, maybe, but right now I'm just scared and I don't want to, but maybe down the line I will, but I don't know. Anyway, let me just tell you a little life. This book has been touted as like the saddest book in history, and I don't want to do that to myself. I'm a Cancer. I'm already sad enough. I don't want a book to make me more sad, and I'm just scared of it. So I don't think I'll be reading that. Also, I don't know, like books are like my escape. I don't want to be sad from them. So I don't think I'll be reading that. It's also very long, so that's even more of a reason not to read it. But I have heard that it's like amazing and incredible, but it's sad, so I don't think I'll be reading that. Along those same lines, Pack Up the Moon. This wasn't actually on my list, but as I was talking about A Little Life, I thought of this. This is another book that everyone is like, this is so sad. And I don't know the premise of it, but I think it involves a dying person. Like they're in a relationship and one of them is dying, and that sounds awful. That sounds so sad. I watched the movie Me Before You and I cried for like 3 hours after, maybe more, like nonstop, just tears. And I don't want to recreate that. I don't want puffy eyelids the next day. So we're not going to do that. Next, I have The Song of Achilles and Circe. I put these together because they're giving the same vibe. It's like a mythology retelling. I think they're still set like in the Greek times. I could be wrong because I don't know much about these. I just know, first of all, that Song of Achilles is very sad and I don't want that. And then also that they're about Greek mythology, and I know people are like, you don't need to know a lot about Greek mythology to read it. And I get that, but I just don't think it's going to hold my attention because I'm not very into Greek mythology. And if you were to ask middle school Ariel, she would be on that. I loved Greek mythology along with probably everyone else in middle school. It was so fascinating. But now I don't really care. And so I don't think I'll be reading that. I have read the Dark Olympus series, and that's a good example of a Greek mythology retelling that I like because it had smut. It basically took place in a real world, not like a magical world. And I don't know, it's cute. Romance. So that's great. I like that, but I don't think I'm going to like Song of Achilles or Circe, so I'm not gonna read them. Ooh, next we have some Colleen Hoover books. First, we have Ugly Love. So let me start out by saying I was gonna say love-hate, but I think it's more like a neutral hating relationship. What? That doesn't make any sense. But basically, Colleen Hoover, I started to read her books because they were very, very hyped up, and I was like, let's consume it because other people are reading it. And at first I like gaslit myself into being like, no, you liked that, you enjoyed that book. Same thing happened with the Spanish Love Deception. And then I like sat with it some more and I was like, no, you found that writing so cringy. It was like, the males were always kind of gross. Like they were kind of like a little too dominant, but not in like a fun way. And they weren't very caring about the girl characters, and the girl characters were always so whiny. And I found all these things that I was like, no, trust your gut. I don't think I want to read another one of her romances, except for Reminders of Him. I think that's its name, because I own that, because I went through a phase of buying like all of her books and then reading them and then being like, oh shoot, I should not have bought all of her books. So I'm gonna read that because I own it. But I think that'll be probably the last of the Colleen Hoover romance books. I liked Layla, but that's like kind of not the same tropes. Like she's a ghost, I don't know. And I'll read Verity because it's like a thriller, you know? But the other popular Colleen Hoover books I don't think I'll read, and that is Ugly Love and It Ends With Us and It Starts With Us. I think the new one is It Starts With Us. And I don't think I'll read these. I've heard Ugly Love also has like some touchy subjects that I don't want to read about. And yeah, I'm not a big Colleen Hoover romance fan. So not gonna read those books. Oh my gosh, I think we're basically at the end. I have two more. Next is The Hating Game. This book, I feel like I missed the big wave of this book. I feel like I wasn't very into like booktube and book social media at the time, but people, I've heard raving reviews and rarely ever a bad review. But workplace romances are just not my cup of tea. Doesn't really do it for me. So I'm not gonna go like seek one out. And this one is obviously a workplace romance. So don't think I'll be reading that. But I do have, I don't know if this is new, but it's one of her books, Angelica Frankenstein Makes Her Match. So I'm gonna read that, and if I like end up loving her writing style, maybe I'll read it. But as of now, I don't think so. And we're on to the last one. This is probably like the least popular of these popular books, but I still have seen it talked about a lot, but just like a while ago. And that is Alone with You in the Ether. I read the Atlas 6 and I hated it. Not good. I've already sold it because I didn't like it at all. When you get my Australian nar, that means it's not good. Did not like that. I could not picture a thing going on in there. There was no imagery, and I didn't know where the plot was going. I don't think the author knew. And yeah, I probably have other videos on why I didn't like the Atlas 6, but I think a big portion of it was I just don't like her writing style. So I don't think I'm gonna like another book from her. So this is another book from her, and it's also very much like people are like, I don't know what I read at the end. And I can get behind those books sometimes, but a lot of times I just want, I don't know, a more plot driven book, or if it is very like character driven, then I want it to be good, like Sally Rooney. Not gonna read that. And yeah, those are the only popular books that I don't think I'm gonna read. There might be more, I don't know. Tell me what popular books you don't think you'll read, and I'll let you know if I have read those and what I think, or if I want to read those, and we'll just talk. So do that. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day, and I hope you read a 5-star book, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.